Hey there, we are back. Welcome to my room. And the name of the show. There is no name. We're developing Sons of Sol. It's made with Unity. We are currently on Square Enix Collective, which I mentioned the last day. That is not taking up as much of my time as I thought it might. So I've been doing good work in between Monday stream and today. There haven't been too many comments to reply to. There's not as hectic as Greenlight was, I guess, but could make more of a show of contacting press about it. It's just hard to see how we're doing because it doesn't actually have a dashboard, and we're doing like 84% yes, 14 or 86 yes, 14% no at the moment, which is pretty good. But it can't actually see how many people that is, whether it's 86,000 people or 86 people. So it's hard to really gauge how we're doing on that campaign, but if you haven't voted yet, do please go vote for Sons of Sol on the Square Enix Collective. Vote yes, not no. And leave a comment, which would be very helpful. Since last time, well, the last time we did a demo playthrough and then did a cloud build, Unity cloud build for Mac, even though I'm on a Windows machine, and it worked fine, I've been told. No, I haven't been told. The last build worked fine. I'm going to assume it worked fine because the last build also worked fine. I showed off our little loading screen last time. I'll just show it again now. And we were working on setting up a new campaign. Since last time... show the loading screen first. When you pick a mission, it'll go to a loading screen, spin the ship around a bit, fill up a bar, it'll fly off. And into a mission, and then you come out through a loading screen back into the carrier, the home base. And the day has advanced from day 0 to day 1. So we were talking about going to just generate a new campaign, and we sort of set that up a bit last time, but didn't generate and save any info. And I had tried to start on stream setting up and saving like a dozen pilots and filling them in here. This is just placeholder text. Just to prove that we were saving and loading information properly. Then I realized on stream, awkwardly, it was going to take a lot of refactoring to change how the character generation worked. It kind of relied on a few things being in the scene from the character pool, from the character creation screen, which isn't like, I'm not going to load into that just to create a new campaign. So I had to refactor how it was being worked, but did that anyway. And so now what is happening, since last time, all I've pretty much done is worked on the campaign generation in terms of the game. In other news, Gamasutra featured the blog I did last weekend. Empathy for Pixels, it's called. That's nice. If you haven't read it, it's now Gamasutra recommended, I guess. So go get a load of that. Sometimes the intro I do takes about 20 minutes. 25, I think, maybe last day. That's less than 5 minutes, we're done. Or 5 minutes, 30 seconds now. Anyway. So what I can do now is, I can't remember if I took out the debug for it, but when I click new game, there's a function it'll run through called generate new campaign, and part of that is it'll create new characters. Attach them to this here. You can see it's actually done it now. These represent 11 IDs, unique ID codes for characters, which aren't going to be used as much in the character pool. They're used to load in groups and export groups and share them with your friends, but really needed in the campaign. But their ID, anyway, is the first part of this awkward looking string. There's ID up to there, then FN is their first name, last name, call sign, their bio. None of them have a bio, like the player can fill in bios for people if they want. The appearance of this character though is gender 1 is female, I think, and then the first head shape and the first eyes shape. That's the appearance seed. And we've also added, I've also added since the last stream a few campaign specific bits of information to a character. And that is a bool as to whether they've been spawned into the campaign or not yet. So that'll be true for everybody except characters you create outside the outside a campaign. Like from the main mission, you go to the character creation screen and just build custom characters if you want, and they're not in your game yet unless you tell them to be. A bool for whether they're alive or not. By default, they'll all be alive, but you know, if they die, changes. How many kills they've got, what their XP is. I had rank as well, but I figure I don't need to save that information. I can just say, well, if their XP is 0 to 100, then they're rank 1, and if it's 100 to 250, they're rank 2, and if it's 250 to 500, it's rank 3. So I don't need to save the actual rank. I could just learn it from the XP, and their SA is, not sure if this is exactly how I'll use it, but like their bonus situational awareness is what the SA stands for. So it's like their blue health bar, and more promotions they get, the better that would go up. So any unique skills we give them here, like class-based, I don't think I'm going to use them as classes. It's more like what ship you put them in is their class, but the pilot themselves just have general skill level. But whatever, I can easily change SA to be a skill level or represent what wouldn't. Well, you could still save it as an int to have like one setup where it's like they have 3 powers you can get, A, B, and C, for example. But 0 could be they have power A. 4 could mean they have power A and B. 5 would be B and C. Or A and C, I suppose, and then 6 would be B and C, and then 7 would be they have A, B, and C. So I could still save this as an int and just interpret it outside of the save string. Like once you load in this meaningless string, then we interpret it within the game, so I don't have to save any more than a single number to represent a lot of information. Anyway, so what's been generated when we, well, from the main menu, you go create launch game. No, sorry, new game. The new game will prep the game generation object and then launch game. Game generation object is this campaign save and load script. We were working on it last time. It'll generate all of an entire new campaign basically on the loading screen between the main menu and the opening scene. So this just sets it up to do that. Whereas if you press continue instead of a new game, then you're just going to not create a new campaign, you're just going to load an old one. Obviously enough, but first time you do it, we'll have to create the campaign for you to load into, so that is the generate new campaign function. So at the moment, all that does is create 11 pilots, basically. It doesn't like set the day. Actually, set the day. The day is going to be day 0. That's but set resources, random bonuses, difficulty mode, Iron Man saves or not. So there are other things we'll have to create here, but the code does now run through a generate campaign function, and it comes to the home base with a bunch of information intact. Example. New game gets there. Pilots are created. We're on day 0. We're not mid-mission. that's fine. Now the interesting thing is if I go into a mission, play it, come out, day 0 will become day 1. If I do it again, it'll become day 2. You've seen this if you've watched recent episodes. But I am now saving this information. So now it says day 1. If I go back to the main menu, if I create a new game, I'm only using the one save at the moment, so it won't like create a new save file, it'll overwrite. But if I continue, it'll load that one save file that we have. And it'll be day 1. So what I want to do right now is sort of continue on. You'll have seen this the last several episodes. These are the tasks we need to complete in order to have a full game loop that we can start building. Essentially, we have a working game once we have this all in. We just have to make it more interesting by adding enemy types, adding scenarios, story on it, but we have a loop. And adding new features. Essentially, we have the minimum viable product of a loop, I guess. I have issues with that term, but I was going to write actually a blog on minimum viable product versus the notion of a maximum viable product. So it was on my mind recently, but then I wrote about something else. Even though I don't like the term, it's still floating around my head. And I know what it means, and it's a valid way to approach business. I don't know, look into it if you want to. Kind of a good way to approach software, but there's a lot of good arguments against it. And it's kind of a bad way to approach games. A better way to approach something like Slack or Discord or something. Developing software like that, but if you're developing a game, I wanted to argue against it for developing games. I'm getting off topic here, but essentially if you put out the minimum viable game, it's a crap game. People will play it, think it's crap, and move on to another game. They're not going to help you turn it into the best product it can be. So it's a notion that doesn't really work for games very well, but a notion that companies are still using, like Street Fighter, Hitman, things like that. That said, there's nothing wrong with episodic style gaming either. Like the one level of Hitman wasn't a minimum product, it was actually a well-polished single chapter. So I'm being a bit facetious. But let's get back to the game. I was told I ramble a bit, it's true. Because I've no one to talk to. I'm doing it again. Okay, so we have 11 characters in existence here. 11? No, it's 12. No, it's 11. I'm meant to remove empty entries. I can swear that that wasn't actually there. Anyway, I can skip the main menu. I can actually just go directly in there. Now that there is a save file now. Prove me wrong now. There it is. There is a save file, so I'll just skip the main menu and load to here. All I have to do is make sure that load saved info on awake is true. Make sure there's no issue with this. Okay, there's that's funny though, there's an extra stuff has gone a little wrong. You see the characters are still there, but it's adding a blank one, and the not correct up here anymore. It should be 11 and 11 strings in these extra. Okay, so saved. I think we're parsing it wrong, basically. Adding a comma at the end. So in between all the saved data, I put a comma in between and separate by commas and split it up by commas. So comma separated values, basically. It's not a CSV spreadsheet, but it's words. that. Try this a bit. I also took a lot of functionality out of this, but I thought I could get rid of one script. There's a few scripts to do with characters: character pool entry, character pool group entry, character, and character pool. Hoping to get rid of one of them, but I got a lot of functionality out of it, but couldn't fully get rid of it. So this function collect all the procedural data. Yeah, okay, I can kind of see what's happening here. For every string in the character ID list, I'm adding it and a comma at the end. Whereas I don't want a comma on the last one, so I should really... So the last one doesn't do a comma. Put it at the start. Should be removing empty entries anyway. I didn't think that would be a problem. Move empty entries. Good. List was wrong. Well, both were wrong, but I'm thinking about this one for a moment. Introduce character ID. Oh, okay. Sorry. I didn't actually remove empty entries. That's the only reason that didn't work. Right, okay. Should now work. So there will be actually like 3 bad commas in the data, but I think it'll remove them. Just one part of that fixed. Why though are we just delete our saves and load a new one and see? We're basically we're working with the characters now to display the characters that we've generated in the campaign in a useful way. From there, we can start to bring them into missions, kill them off, save their kills, stuff like that. Evidently, there's just a little issue with how we're saving and presenting them back. It has to be consistent or it won't work. So here are the default save folder. Easy Save 2, the plugin, it's pretty cheap. For Unity, it's worth it. I had a save system myself written a while ago, and Easy Save didn't make it mad easier, but it did make it a bit easier. And if you want to save information out to a spreadsheet, it's great, but you can't yet. I saw the feature request on their forums a couple of years ago, so I don't know if they're going to do it. But you can't load spreadsheet back in. So you can save one out, but you can't load information from it, which would be fantastic. Then I would say it's worth it hands down. At the moment, it's just kind of worth it. If you want an easier way to save instead of learning how to do it yourself, and there are tutorials for that, so don't be too afraid of it. But I don't know, Easy Save 2 is good. Anyway, let's load a new. It's worth the money. It doesn't cost a lot. It's not the be all and end all. The hard parts of saving are still just being smart about how you save stuff. It doesn't make that easier for you. What have we got? We do have... It appears that we have all the right IDs the first time, but can't actually... If I click continue now, I should get in, and I should see the same information, but I think I'm going to see different IDs because that wasn't working. The IDs went wrong. Actually, I should have checked what was up in the save data. It's really, really, really long. I can't possibly read it up there, but I'm going to paste it in. Okay, so that's the information it's saved. Saved that we're on day 0, we're not in a mission, and then it saved all the other info about characters. So the first part it saved was the IDs, all the individual IDs, and it's parsing them okay. The next thing it saves is each individual person. So this should be the first, basically the first one again, 4711 ending. Yeah, the next one should be 4592 ending. Yeah. So what's going wrong with it? I think it's the information's all there. Seems like it's all correct. So what's it? How is it parsing it wrong? Then splits it up into procedural. Okay, so the procedural characters data isn't being parsed correctly. Probably because I haven't written anything yet and just forgot to. This is quite a complicated arrangement. Yeah, so it saves all of that and it splits it out into that looks like, and that looks like this. Seems correct. But money, the Reaper. Okay. Oh yeah, money there. So first one should be Firebrand. No. Coming out in different order. I don't know. Money doesn't seem a great call sign all of a sudden, but we do have 2. Oh yeah, sorry, I split the first one off. That's why I thought that was suddenly the first one. And okay, so yeah, it's saving the right numbers, the right info. It's just not displaying it out, and it's bringing it back. I'm just not parsing it correctly into usable chunks the second time. Okay, so parse saved character data. That's convenient. I'm exactly where I want to be. Procedural characters data equals a new list based on separating operators are these and each. Yeah, okay. I think I just need to go further with that. Should have left it open. Right. What it's going to do is the first thing it's doing there. It's splitting all of this information. This is one single part of a save. It's going to split it up into 2 different chunks based on finding this and breaking it up until it finds what it does, it splits the entire thing according to this and then takes it out, and this takes it out. So, right. So all we've done is split it into 2 bits. The introduced character IDs is splitting up the first part, and that's happening correctly. So it's splitting up that and showing it here, which is fine. But we're doing nothing with this part. Let's do that. there are places in the scripts that I'm already doing this. Figure out where it is and either call it directly or replicate the functionality. Yeah, okay. I have to think about it for a sec. I think I have a static. Yeah, so ID, first name, last name, call sign, bio, appearance, calls player, as in the word that they use for the player, and the campaign info. All that saved. ID, first name, last name, call sign, bio, appearance, calls player, and campaign. Right, so be very easy. Don't want to close it yet. So this is a static string on the character script, so all I have to do is call, or is split the information based on that directly. So apparently, if I'd finished before dinner, I kind of wouldn't have forgotten where I was, and wouldn't have spent 20 minutes sort of getting back to here just to write this one line. But sure. So I'm going to now kind of overwrite these two bits. Sorry, these two. So I've split the first one out into all of this, and the second one I'm just going to split it out into. And then I don't need these two anymore because I have them divided up into more useful. New list of. We're dividing up procedural characters data part 1 dot split according to character dot what was it? Yeah, character save info split params. Just to remind you, that was this. So we're splitting it up just as I split the other thing up according to each and the word each and the word IDs. We're splitting this up according to more different things, but it's the exact same thing going on. And then just options. Remove empty entries. Right. Colon. Semicolon. Play again. Now I think I can just go from here. As long as I load the info, I think I'm now parsing it correctly, so we should be alright. That actually is correct. Yeah. There is. How come the first one is still everybody's? I think the first element would be there. Oh, yeah. One moment. Just undo that line for a minute and play without it. Second bit of information is actually everything. Oh, yeah, okay. First bit of information is. I thought the second bit of information was actually just this much. That much. appears to be everything. The first bit is just the top bit. This part is all IDs. Each of the characters has the first part of their save is their ID, then just keep all those IDs in another place as well. Then I guess it's not really a problem. I thought they were split up. Make sure I'm not saving it twice as well. So if I don't parse it, I just want to see what the raw data coming in is. There it is. In a text file. No, that's not right. Do that. Yeah, okay, so we are saving it twice. Or 3 times? I wonder, actually, is it adding to the save each time I load? Each time I load the scene, is it actually making that save longer? Because it seemed even longer again. Let's do a fresh one. Get. Oh yeah, it parses out correctly this. See, it can create the info and show it fine. The trick is loading it from another place and showing it fine. That's the difference here. Raw data. Yeah, it's definitely better. Down here. But yeah, that's definitely just 3 lines of IDs and then I get 2 lines of IDs and then the other info. If I come back in, does that turn into 3 lines? Weird. We got this and our normal 2 lines and the normal each thing. Not even the thing we got a minute ago. New difference. But yeah, definitely the save file, it's creating different things. More than this time. 6 of them next time. Yeah. So I don't see the problem I was hunting for, but I see a new problem. Let's fix it and see if there's no problems left. That would be great. So it's where we collect info. So it can be clear about when we're saving. Collect info function. We'll collect all the info, what day we're in, then it'll collect all the procedural character data. Nothing wrong with this. Like, this is creating a brand new string, not picking up on the old one. Writing IDs once, giving the IDs, writing each once, giving each, turning it. We're saving too many times in one go. That's doing something weird. We don't need to be saving as we load. Main info is called. This is just called when we, every time we start a scene with this in the scene. Scene. Because technically the scene is being loaded, but I didn't think it counted the very first play, but okay. Guess I'll add a new bool to prevent saving. This is first load, or is first scene. Pull through. So if we come in here and we're in our first scene, is first scene is false. So the second time we come in, we'll go through all those normally. I'm going to put in a message for this as well. False, but we don't destroy this on load. So once we go into the other scene, this will be called again. We'll skip past that, and it shouldn't break the is new game thing, but I want to. Oh wait, it will. Wait, saving? Creating new campaign. I misspelled campaign and save. But I do want it to save after generate. Oh, of course, the save happens down here, so I'm gonna have to do that and return. So I do want it to generate a new campaign and then save, but it only generated the campaign at the very end of that. It's meant to do it during the loading. That was my intention. That would point of the loading screen. It happens very quick, so it doesn't matter much, but point was. Alright, so it does that and it saves. Home base now. Right. Information. I think the first time we did get the right info anyway. IDs and do it again. Click. Good, that's the same thing. So can I go into a mission and come out and get the same thing? Without dying. We're okay. Yeah, great. No, we're not. Reason when it came loaded fresh, it added. How did it do that? Do I have to go through a mission to actually make it worse? Oh boy, bug fixing. A great episode. We'll get our pilots in someday. Yeah, and now it's. Seems if I come out of a mission and then stop and load, saving an extra IDs and each. Strange, because splitting them is meant to take those words away. Should never be getting more. We're on day 2 anyway. The days thing is still working, but. Info. Correct info. My guess is that IDs is a part of this. So the first one we're going through is that again. So IDs becomes part of introduced character IDs. I'm getting the impression this is kind of a spill-on problem that I think I only created when I commented out some of the things we were doing. I actually wouldn't have this problem if I'd left these in. I took them out to test something, but I think I created the other problem. They didn't actually split. Yeah, of course. I wasn't splitting these out, so yeah, of course. I commented it out, so I was no longer splitting these away and I was winding up with multiples of them. Alright, so we were trying to test one original problem, created another one, tested it stupidly instead of just undoing. Problem we were having then was we were getting too many. We were getting the character IDs again fed into the procedural character. Let's undo that line. Oh yeah, I've still got this stupid save. Let me just make a fresh one again. Oh, there. Generating can. I did it again. Happening too late. Pretty version, but now can I keep the pretty version if I'm back? Oh yeah, we can't because I commented out the line that's meant to make it pretty. Got our 11, that's fine. Okay, this. Oh, right. Okay, so this does start with ID. So we do it a second time, make sure it's the same things. Yeah, okay. So if I then split that second line according to the character save info split parameters, should wind up with this part without that part. And we do. Great. Can we do it twice in a row? We can. I think when I first put that line in, it was just that I didn't have like a fresh save maybe. In the last 15 minutes to fix a problem that would have been fixed if I just came at it from the main menu. But let's make sure I can go through a mission and get what we need. Okay. There's 7 bits of info for everyone. The 7th is actually all of their campaign relevant info, so I'm going to have to further split it up according to that. That's okay. get the characters out of that. What I kind of want to do now, I guess, prove it works, is play all the call signs on this list, I guess. Prove that we're loading it okay. I won't really be using the pilots yet, but put them on there. Later we'll make actual buttons out of them, so you can select them, and we'll be able to look at what they look like and see their full name and stuff. But for now, I'm just going to go with call signs. Text that I have on there. Pilot name. Yeah, I do. When I look at the table and next mission, might not even have it here at all. Probably won't, but it'll be like a sub menu for mission planning. But anyway. A little tricky, but we can get it right. Okay, pilot names text dot text equals player and skip a line again. Is mono develop sort of highlighted that in red. Not sure if this we'll see which is the right one. Those pluses are just strings of pluses. I'm always a bit stupider on the Thursday show because late after dinner and you get that dinner tiredness. The just ate dinner kind of tiredness. / isn't right. Are either of them right? / isn't it? The backs. Oh yeah. C. It felt stupid. I would actually have to put text in after it if I was going to see anything. Okay. I skipped the line just because it's narrow. There we go. So the correct way to do it is / n. I couldn't remember, was it backslash or forward? There. Plus /n. Okay. So we need list of all pilots. Here's a simple way to do it and the right way to do it. So I can kind of just go through the string array I already have and pick out their call signs from it, like every 7th item. I'll just do that to show that it works. So we're going to add to that for each, no, sorry, not that. For int I equals, actually equal, because it's not going to be 0. I equals, oh, what's gone wrong now? Did I comment that line back out? Oh, what's going on? I had this working a second ago. That. We're pressing the data. Did that okay? Did that okay? I want to do that thing where you say, damn it, this is all correct, why isn't it working? Obviously something is not correct. But I could, it worked a minute ago. What changed? With that? You're allowed to split by a string array, so I don't see the problem there. It doesn't have to be a char array. Exactly like it was written a moment. Trying to change something. Fresh save. Saving and loading, it always seems to be whenever you go to do one thing, you have to do 3 other things first. So it loads, fine, first time. sign the second time. So the call sign is element 3 plus 7 is element 10 again. 7. Okay, so it's going to be for int I equals 3, if you even remember what I was trying to do a minute ago. Int I equals 3. Is less than here's data. Public, right? Make it public. Dot count. So, you know, when you go I plus plus in a for loop, I plus 7. Should I think that won't cause a problem, just in terms of it going up by 7 above the length. I think fine. So the pilot names text dot text plus basically add their call sign. The current string we're on. Oh, plus a new line. There'd be nothing wrong with this. Doubt it'll work. First time. Well, this isn't first time. It's given the right info. Okay, actually it worked. With that. I'm gonna make it right from the left. Yeah, that should I think every time now that should read player MP high tower angel money goose. I also want to do with that is it out a bit. Mantle overflow. That's fine with me. Again. So this should be the same pilots every time. Player MP high tower angel money. Remember. Yep, same. Now if I go out from the main menu, I should be able to come back in through the continue button and get the same pilots. There, MP high tower angel goose. Great. I should be able to do a mission. Come back to the same list. I'm expecting it to break somewhere. So far. Looking good. Another mission. Back. Nope. Okay, so working. Ah, come on. Bollocks. Why should the one more time be the time that breaks it? What happened differently? Okay. We went through missions, it seemed fine, but when we loaded... Yeah. Going into a mission, then quitting and loading seems to break things. But not going into a mission seems to be fine. Oh. How did it manage to not parse that info? Clear the default save completely. So that's what should have happened when I started a new game, basically. Would have overwritten it. Oh, what the hell's gone wrong? You saw, I didn't change any code, and it just decided to behave differently. The name of God. I was like, hey, nothing went wrong. I think we're ready to move on. Let me try one more time. Alex. Now I can't even make new saves that work. Basically, I thought I had one robust save. Now I can't even make a robust save again. At the moment. Are we parsing? Or is it when we create a new game it don't actually parse? Don't parse. That's why it's not split out. Okay. Last thing it did was save. I think part of the bug I wrote down earlier that it was generating the campaign too late. I think it's actually generating instead of doing that first calls the load campaign info. Saved info. I just want to parse. I want to pull this part out, I guess. Might be enough. If I save it, I should also work to understand what I saved, I guess. Because it was only after I loaded, rather than created, that I would split it out into that useful information. So, okay, that's one of the reasons why things weren't. Not what we wanted. Okay, what did I want to do after this? I'm going to be make the pilots kind of display. Gonna make them display on the map, get their names. What I said there was going to be a right way and a quick way. The right way is going to be to create like a game object for each of them that I can select, or at least a single game object that I can load each of their info onto. In the character pool, the way I do that is with the character pool entry closed. And it holds their info. Doesn't yet hold that campaign specific info for them, but I guess it could. So I could just sort of easily make scripts up for each of them without, like, they're not going to be somewhere in the scene, they're just going to be held in code here. I have a single avatar in the scene which will render their pictures. Yeah, I thought I did have an avatar in the scene. How about that? Because it's useful to have one avatar in so that if I need to display their faces, I can just load proper person's face onto the mannequin. So I only have one character script in the face, but it can change its appearance to be whichever correct pilot I'm talking about. So that's what I wanted to get done after quickly showing you that we could display the names correctly. We briefly displayed the names correctly, but now there's more problems. So this is turning into a very dull kind of episode where I'm not even going to achieve stated objectives, so I'm going to cut it short here and just keep working on boring fixes to this round and roundabout problem. So there's no one in chat right now, so disappointing anybody if you're watching this on. I'm good, like on the video I'll comment in that, like, it'll still be on the playlist, but it'll put in the description that I don't recommend watching it particularly. Unless you want to see all the types of things that can go wrong with saving and parsing. There's plenty. One of the things is you can create the data fine and display it and use it fine. But if you want to then save that and bring it back in at a later stage, you've to create it again, not miss a single comma or kind of stuff happens. If you save on a save, you don't want to be doubling up any of the parameters you're putting in, as we did with the each and the IDs tags earlier. So, alright, I'm going to leave it there and keep trying to get the bugs out of this system. I guess I'm hoping to be done with the characters that I can just click on. Well, we won't be done with them, but they'll be in this scene, kind of ready to go for when we have more detailed missions. And on the missions, you'll select your correct character. Not correct, but you'll assign the characters to their ships and stuff. And sorry, after that we can go to the memorial wall. We can, we will have that list of characters. Oh look, it's right this time. It's actually correct this time. There we go, it's correct. List. I've never had the results be this inconsistent. It makes me suspect. I'm gonna say I'd almost blame the easy save, but I'm sure it's doing its job. I'm sure I just handling it weirdly based on whether I have too many ways of getting into the scene. Like, I can load the scene directly or come in through the main menu continue or come in through new game, and I could do it with a save in place, with a good save in place, with a bad save in place. There's too many variables right now. Anyway, we would have that list. We'll have this exact list of pilots, and where it says true on all of them, if they die it'll say true and false, and their kills figure there might be higher. And that we can go to the memorial and there'll be a list that comes up of the dead pilots and how many kills they got and what day they die on. We can add that. The hard part is getting their basic info in. We can do a lot with it once it's there, and it's almost there. Yeah, so I would like to just get that in, make it ironclad, bulletproof, whatever you want. In the next day or two. So by Monday's stream we could actually work on part. Launch mission, I guess. Save the campaign. Actually, are we doing that already? I think we're doing some of that. We're now actually saving day and pilots. Last time we were just saving day. It's not fully working, but assuming I fix these bugs, we're up as far as here, and Intel is, yeah, it's not. It's an essential kind of part of this. We'll work on it, but might make more sense to do the mission scenarios before the Intel, because Intel is Intel ties into the campaign, and there will be things that you don't know about, and your Intel is like turning a card face up, and all of a sudden you know where an enemy base is or something. So, as part of the campaign generation, we generate where all the bases are and what the bases do, and how long till there's new bases built and stuff. So that's kind of decided at the start, but you don't know about it. So it's sort of have to save in the same way as we save pilots. We'll have to save a bunch of bases and locations and have a bool for whether the player knows about it. Just call it false, and then as we go on, call it true for, yeah, now we know where the base is, but not what type of base it is. All sorts. Yeah, we can pick away at this more. Pilots is, I could almost put that in, but I have to fix the bugs first. I'll put it in later. So by Monday we can be on actually making those missions a bit more interesting. Pretty sure that's what we'll do Monday anyway. Okay, so thanks if you watched. Sorry to end early, that it was mostly just dealing with bugs, but I'm repeating myself now. So see you on Monday. Make sure to vote for us on Square Enix Collective. Read the blog if you want. If you're in Dublin, sign up for if you're interested in game dev startup businesses or any type of startup businesses. I'm focusing on game dev, but if you're in Ireland and want to start businesses, there's a workshop on July 8th that I'm running in Temple Bar. It's a Saturday on business law, starting up companies, small companies. Only €40. There are tickets still. Probably not for too terribly longer. If you're interested, do please sign up. And until then, until Monday, adios.